Welcome to Elton's Retirement Journey and Travel and another meeting of the Retiring Club. First, I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. My name is John, and I will be your host of this meeting. In this meeting of the Retiring Club, we are going to be using our IRA distributions to fund 2026, which is my first year in retirement. So I will be going ahead and walking you through the steps that I use to track the capital gains that I'm going to use to make the IRA distributions and make myself whole this year as I pay all my bills. Okay, and I will be right back with a screen share. Thank you very much and welcome. Okay, so back in 2021, I turned 59 and a half and I tallied up my investment accounts with the different custodians that I have, which is E-Trade, Fidelity, and Charles Schwab. And at that time, I noticed that I did not have money set aside that I can use in case of a job loss or emergency. I didn't have to worry about the 10% because I was 59 and a half. So what I decided to do, the market in 2021, by the end of the summer, the investments has reached their all-time high. And so what I did is first, I took a look at the Fidelity accounts and I noticed that a lot of these ticker symbols here had reached their all-time high. And so what I did was I went ahead and sold $600 off of about six, maybe seven mutual funds, and that got me to $5,000. So now I have some kind of cash, and I went ahead and put that in a CD. Originally, I was with Morgan Stanley. And these investments under E-Trade IRA were with them. And what I did was I turned off the reinvestment of the capital gains. And the advisor at that time, I told him what I wanted to do, and he recommended go with GOFXX. And I was paying 1.25. But when we went into the year 2022, as Russia invaded Ukraine, we started having incredible inflation. And what happened was they started raising the interest rate. So I started getting some good returns on GOFXX. So at the end of 2021, there was a deposit in. But if we take a look here, this is 2022, and these are the capital gains that was paid in. So this 5692 went into GOFXX. It is now at 54,284 as of the end of 2025. And down here, we have the reinvestment of capital gains that went back into the Fidelity rollover. Now that's a little low, and it totaled the $2,000. I had E-Trade Roth that I opened up, and I had the Charles Schwab. So altogether, the rollovers were 84.59. But this 5692, that went into GOFXX. And what this started to do was it started to build a fixed income investment for me in case of a down market. And that was the start of it. So let's go ahead and move over to the next year, which is going to be 2023. So let's see if I can remove this. All right, so this is the returns of 2023. They don't always get the same results. It depends on how well the market does. And so we had 4,094 that went into the GOFXX. So I had to buy the shares. I let it go in the sweep account and I purchased the shares and then started bringing that balance up. So here I'm building up my fixed income with the proceeds from the equities. Now down here, we got Fidelity. This Fidelity account had not reached $100,000 yet. So as you can see, it contributed 1802 that went back in. So as you can see, this is how your investments grow. You reinvest the capital gains, the share price goes down a little bit by whatever they pay out, and it'll buy more shares at a discounted price. And as you can see, if we take a look at the E-Trade Roth, so it's growing a little bit here. Um, it's up to 703, and down here is 163. Now this is down. You're not going to get the same amount every year. But let's continue on. Let's go to 2024. So in 2024, we had a pretty good year. Now look at the gains in this Davis New York Venture Capital and the Franklin Mutual. These funds are very old. Franklin Mutual was founded in 1949, and this Davis New York Venture, I believe, in 1969. So that's pretty good. Transamerica, and then this ClearBridge turned out pretty good. This American fund, that's Euro Pacific, that's an international fund. So now it's up to $10,000, and that $10,000 went into GOFXX. So we're building up our fixed income in that money market. That money market was paying 5% in 2024 and 5% in 2023. And if we go down and look at our Fidelity rollover, it's doing much, much better. It's up to 7,000. So between these two accounts, it did $17,769. And let's look at our Roth accounts. The Roth accounts are always going to be set to reinvest. So we're up to 1145 here. And Charles Schwab is another rollover IRA. It got 925. And look at here, $19,839 total in capital gains throughout all the investments. And my magic number is $20,000. So let's take a look at 2025. So in 2025, we've got 3115. See, you're not going to get the same amount every year. You got 1773. It generate these two funds are my oldest funds, and it generated 4889. So that right there, I can always count on it doing pretty good if you look at how well they're doing. And then Transamerica is down a little bit. ClearBridge came back and look at the international fund 1683. So it produced $9,043. So this went into the sweep account, and I did not put it in GOFXX. When I left the firm, I was unable to roll over my investments in kind. I had to sell them. So when I sold BlackRock government short-term notes, which is a money market, I put it in a GOFXX. Now this one right here is going to earn about 150 to maybe 170 at 3.7% in 2026. So this will grow all by itself up to 60,000 by the time I collect Social Security in 3 years. Any down market, I can pull the 20 grand from here. If we have a down market, I'm going to allow the reinvestment of capital gains to go back into it, and I'll pull from GOFXX. If we take a look down here, now the Fidelity rollover is not set to reinvest. So right now, I have, I'm gonna make that dark for you, 14,838.51 that I can use to fund myself in 2026 from the sweep accounts. In this case, this went in the SPAXX, and it will you know, the balance is down now because I've already transferred 10 grand from the Fidelity rollover, and I took an IRA distribution and transferred from the E-Trade into my high yield saving to pay all my bills. But look down here at the bottom, the uh, the Roth IRA accounts are all generating some money, and that's see how that's like almost 3 times higher than what it was the previous year. So these accounts are still growing. They've all pulled back from their all-time highs, but you can see how the compounding with reinvesting will build. This is a Charles Schwab account. It did 972, and for the total year, I had 19,000 and $70.51, and this amount is going into My high yield savings, I just took 10 grand out. So 2,500 goes in from one. If you take a look at this right here, you only had to have 1,000 come out of the sweep account. And then over here, this is probably another, that'd be about 4,200 dollars. And that gets you up to 20 grand. So this is basically it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and show you how I track the pre-tax investments, because what I'm doing is I'm pulling for the pre-tax to fill up the standard deduction in retirement so that it'll reduce the mandatory withdrawals that you have to do later on. I'll use my low uh, tax rate of 10 and 12% to reduce my taxes as I pull from the IRA, and I will let the tax-free accounts continue to earn interest. So I'm going to be right back, and we're going to take a final look at how. Okay, so here's our 2027 early retirement analysis. It is named that because I was originally going to do the retiring um, in 2027 after Memorial Day when I was already 65 years old. But this is how it turned out at the end of 2025. E-Trade 174,673, Fidelity 126,177, Charles Schwab 18,816. This is the pre-tax amount 319,668 and 17. We just reviewed how much these pre-tax accounts generated, and each one was laid out. So the Charles Schwab is basically a rollover, reinvested capital gains there. It was about just 970 some dollars, whatever it was. But Fidelity and E-Trade did the heavy lifting, and we got 14,000 out of that. Now, when I retired on September 26th, the blue shows what the account balance is, 412,223, and at the end, before the interest paid out, is 427,697. So you can see there was some growth in my little retirement account. The grand total right now, 427,868, and that is it. So that's how Dwayne over retired early 500K, and Juliet Happy on Monday and others are seeing their nest eggs grow because of the reinvestment of the capital gains and depreciation. This whole process solved two major things for me. Number one, it helped me build fixed income for a down market, which I'm covered there now. It also helped me have enough cash to bridge until I turned 67 in case of a job loss. Well, my job loss is basically related to me having this Fidelity account and Charles Schwab. You can't have those accounts. So I got flagged by legal and compliance when I linked the Fidelity to E-Trade. They said, go ahead and sell it. I'm like, no fucking way. That baby's making money for me. You see what the balance is there. And that's why I'm retired now. But it's okay. I know how to work the system to allow me to bridge until I turn 67. Once I turn 67, I'm good to go. And with the Trump tax break, $23,750 is what I could take out of the IRA. I could pull it out right here, and that'll cover myself every year. But as you know, this thing is making money for me. So long as the market does well. And if it doesn't, I just pull it out. But this solved a couple major problems for me that I mentioned: building a fixed income and having something to draw on in case you lose your job or retire early. This works for those of us who are 59 and a half. You can do it with the IRAs. If you're below that, then you're going to have to do the 401k thing, or you have to have a brokerage account where you're dealing with the capital gains. But there's other folks that can explain that a little bit better than me. So I'm going to go ahead and end the presentation. I wanted to thank everybody for taking a look at this and how I plan to fill this up. I'll be doing this every year, and We haven't even looked at the fixed income. You can pretty much you can do the math here and tell what I got there, and it's enough. So I'm going to go ahead and end the presentation, and thank you so much. Take care.